We good? We good?
All right, we're good to go. We are live right now. Yes, we are live on Leslie Chambers. Shut up, Leslie. We're on live on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. Yes. Thank you for those who are coming to join this live stream. And the topic of this discussion, the topic of this live stream is a conversation between X Plus collectors, part 3, with the one and the only. You know him, you love him. Yes, everybody's favorite fresh vinyl guy, the one and only Richard Eso. Richard, how you doing, sir?
Bam, what's doing, guys? Back with another live stream, this time on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. What's up?
Yeah, man, I wanted to get you up here for a while. You know, it's funny. First and foremost, let me just, I know I thanked you earlier, but I want to thank you again for doing this. Like I mentioned to you, I normally try to give a heads up when I do these live streams because I try to incorporate a lot of people sometimes, and I try to be mindful of people's schedules. But I contacted Rich a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Hey, let's do it." He said, "I'm gonna try and look into some things. I got something going on, but more than likely I'll be there." And he's here on short notice. So for you to do that, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Just FYI, anybody out that's watching, I do have the live stream up on my phone, so I'll try to pay attention to the chat like I do on Fresh Vinyl Live. That way, if there's anything we could contact out there in YouTuber world. What's up, Felipe?
Exactly, because I'm gonna be on YouTube on my phone too, and be mindful of the chat. But yes, this is a conversation between X Plus collectors, as you both know. Richard and I are both avid X Plus collectors and supporters. I think we have a couple, just a just a couple that we have
right here
between the two of us. We kind of like have like maybe like 4 or 5, something like that. But I want to have a conversation with Rich because it's been quite a fun time being an X Plus collector, but it's also been overwhelming. So I want to talk about the fun and somewhat trying times of being an X Plus collector, but it's all done in the name of fun. You know, it's all done just to have a good time and just talk about some topics that pertain to us as collectors, and maybe talk about some stuff that might not be might be taboo not to talk about. You know what I mean? So, but first and foremost, just to familiarize, you know, Richard with the audience. Of course, I'm sure everybody knows who he is, but if you can, Richard, just tell me, like, what was the first X Plus figure that you ever bought?
Oh, I love and hate explaining this question because the first X Plus figure I bought, actually, I don't remember which one exactly it was because I sat down on my couch in early 2013 and I bought like 13 of them all in one sitting. So I'm not exactly sure which one I clicked on the buy it now button, but I went silly on eBay. I mean, I could list you the ones off the top of my head that I remember. We're in that group if you want.
Well, I tell you what, just name the first Godzilla that you got, like the first Godzilla figure from X Plus that you got.
It had to be probably the Wonderfest Godzilla 73 with Jet Jaguar, because those are the first ones that I actually got my hands on. I bought them from a collector that lived in the area, who's now out in Australia. His name is Brian Medecki. He sold me a chunk of my first few X Plus, but the first Godzilla that I actually got my hands on was the Wonderfest 73.
Wonderfest 73. Nice figure. That's one that I really, I mean, I got the reissue of, I guess, the original with the closed mouth, but it's something about the Wonderfest with its open mouth that I really do enjoy. How's that figure fare now, knowing that we may possibly get a 30cm 73 down the road? Are you still want to try and keep it, or does it still hold that significance with you because it was actually the first?
The Wonderfest one?
Yes.
I'm actually tinkering with selling it, to be honest with you, because I like the closed mouth one that was reissued a year or so ago, because I'm like, do I really need 2 of each? And maybe I'll save this to dive into, you know, if you got another topic, you know, once we start talking about the overwhelmingness of the X Plus releases these days. But I mean, yes, it still does hold like a significant sentimental value to me because it's X plus, and I'm a mark for X plus right now. Obviously, the last almost 6 years it's been. I can't believe it. You know, even the thought of letting one go is kind of like my babies. But yeah, I mean, I love them, and it would be hard to let one of them go. So it's staying for now. I'm not giving up any of my children at any time.
Right. Let me just say that my first X Plus figure, I know I've detailed it on a couple of videos, but of course I have it right here. And actually, Rich, you were the one that really inspired me to get it. You and the bottle of Jack Daniels. I'm talking about the 84. I'm talking about the 84 Godzilla 30 centimeter. And folks out there, if you've seen that video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This was the guy. This was the first. Like, I saw your video, and like, mind you, before I got an X Plus, I knew about it. I saw stuff on eBay, and that was only like the first source that I saw that had these figures, and I was like, ain't no way in the world I'm paying this much for a vinyl figure. Little did I know that I would eat those words time and time again. But it was your review of this, and I think that was when fresh vinyl, the term fresh vinyl, was born, which grew into this massive phenomenon in our hobby. So because of you, this, and of course a bottle of Jack Daniels, I got this figure, and after that I got the 30 centimeter Titanosaurus, and then 30 centimeter Rodan 64, and it just trickled down from there.
How the fever starts.
So, but that was what I want to say, because you got started when 2013.
Yeah, that 84 review I did in May of 2013 because that's when the figure came out. Funny story behind that. I actually pre-ordered the standard from Hobby Search, and then when I was still very new to X Plus at that point in time. When I saw what the Rick exclusive was the Sea Louse, the Shockerus, whatever we're calling it. I was like, darn it, like I should have got that. So I ended up going on eBay and winning an auction on eBay for the Rick for, I think, maybe $200, something like that. And but that's, I think I did the standard review first, and then I did a quick little video recap of the Rick exclusive once I got that in the mail. But yeah, that was May of 2013 that I did that review. And like you said, yeah, that's exactly when kind of like fresh vinyl became my shtick. This is exactly where I got the design for the shirt. I actually took a screen grab of the video when I'm talking about everybody loves to smell a fresh vinyl, especially on box day. I think it's that line that I say where I took my face from the video, and then I came up with the design that way. But yeah, that's the whole, that's where fresh vinyl became it's a thing of its own.
So now, since you have come a long way, and you have basically inspired lots of people, including myself, to not only be collectors, to jump on YouTube. You were like the first, besides, you know, Samson West, you two were the first ones that, in my opinion, or at least they inspired me to say, you know what, I can do that. I can get on camera. I can talk about this stuff. And because I know sometimes being a Godzilla fan before Godzilla became, I guess, more popular. I don't want to say relevant. He's always been relevant, but he's, you know, but since 2014 came out, you know, has gotten a lot more exposure now, even the casual fans. I was like, you know what? I can do that. I can contribute. I can offer something like that. So once again, thank you for you and Samson West for paving the road for you know, because without y'all, we wouldn't be where we are. But do you find it overwhelming sometimes, you know, because you are this giant pillar in our community, and you know, people look to you for answers, and especially when you go to G-Fest, you know, like the times when I do go to G-Fest, when there are times I try to find time to try to hang out with you, you always swamp with people, or you in the dealer's room, you know. Did you think that it would have this effect on you going forward when you did the whole fresh vinyl thing in the beginning?
Honestly, no, I didn't. And again, you know, I'm just a fan and a collector first. You mentioned the word earlier, which I respect highly, of anybody that contributes to this hobby. But that was my goal, is to just contribute and give something back. And I've said this every time, I'm talking about why we do videos. It's just to contribute, give something back. We didn't have this when we were in the 90s, when we were collecting Bandai figures. There was, no reviews. There was barely any forums on the Monster Zero boards, the Club Tokyo forums, or the Yahoo groups where the original Vinyl Madness chat groups were. So I wanted to contribute. Did I think it was going to turn into a thing? No, but I had fun collecting X Plus in early 2013, and you talk about inspiring. Sam West, Sam, if you're watching this at any point in the future, I may break your balls hardcore a lot, but you're the one who inspired me to do these reviews. I just wanted to have fun with what I've enjoyed all my life and give something back to the community. At G-Fest, it is a little, the last 2 years have been a little overwhelming. The year before, I was kind of like, just wanted to honestly be just give me some room to breathe. This year, I had a much better time. It was cool, but I'm like a ping pong ball. It's like the blood party. I was like all over the place, fighting Jessica Etchels in a lightsaber battle, and trying to talk to people that I talk to here and there on Facebook. Ken Bockelman. There's another guy that I met this year. He's really, really chill, and I'm having a hard time remembering his name right now. Frank. I think it's Frank with a C. He's actually started doing his own. Tony C. He started doing his own video reviews. Tony's Basement. I'm butchering his YouTube channel name, but it's fun to talk to everybody and just do our thing, much like you're doing. You're having fun with it and contributing, and that's what we just need to keep doing, is have fun with it. Because if we're not having fun with it, why do it at all?
Exactly. That's the reason why I do this, just to have fun and to interact with a lot of folks. And it really has been fun. And I'm looking forward to other stuff, in the future for me to dive into, as far as figures or whatever. Even though I know, and I said this before, I know I'm not going to be up here forever. Honestly, I don't want to be up here 60 years old making videos. Not trying to say anything wrong with that, but I just know that eventually I'm going to move on, whatever. But in the meantime, I'm having a blast doing this and just interacting with folks, like you said, and just interacting with the community is really, really amazing. And once again, you've inspired a lot of people. And I know sometimes that can be overwhelming, whatever, but, just realize that you're a lot of things to a lot of people. And like I said, you're like a strong pillar in this community. When I think of pillars, I think of you, David Epdopko, Vince Elliott, John Ruffin, Liam Foley, I think that guy said Frank, you said Frank Colosi, whatever. John Bumpus, just strong, hot, Jeremy Souls, just strong, highly positive people, that make this community what it is, Matt Jacobson, whatever. But there are a couple of people on the chat right now. So thank you, Liam Foley, Chris Jackson, Varzilla, Eric Taylor. If you have any questions, please pipe down in the comment section, and myself and Rich will try to answer as much as we can, but we're going to try to keep the conversation moving along with the topics at hand. So, Rich, this year has been really fun, but also very, very expensive. So far, what has been your most favorite figure acquisition of the year 2018?
Oh, goodness. I couldn't even the thought of trying to think about what has come out so far this year to answer that question, it's just mind-boggling, because my brain started thinking Death Ghidorah, Anime Godzilla 30 centimeter, Gigantic 64, and I'm having a brain fart. I don't even. Oh, we have the new Gargantuas. So I'd have to go downstairs and look at the favorite sculptors line 62. Oh, man. I'm trying to think what pops into my head, and I'm not prepared for this. I will say the 30 centimeter anime Godzilla is a gorgeous looking figure. I am by no means a fan of the movies, those anime films. I fell asleep through the second one, and the trailer for the third one's not really giving me a reason to care or to want to watch it. And I just saw the 64 just poke his head in. So, and you know, of course, that is a you mentioned a word before that's like a pillar. But yeah, the 64, much like yourself, is my favorite version of Godzilla. I want to love that figure 100%. But it's very hard when, much like you have on a shelf over there somewhere, that giant M1 64 that is, yeah, exactly the look. That was the look. And I want to love the gigantic 64, but the M1 gigantic 64 really just warms my heart just a little bit more. But the 60 X Plus, it's a great figure. I love the blue dorsal plates. I'm glad I went Rick no matter what. Yeah, I'm not freezing. The camera's not freezing. It's just me pausing. But there's so many figures. I can't even think about what else has come out. Take it away. Go for it.
Well, he's giving me that look, Rich. Like, seriously. He's looking at you like, come on now. But yeah, everybody knows my favorite. And I know that this figure has its issues, or at least its perceived issues. But for me, this is my favorite acquisition for figure of the year. Could have been a little bit better, absolutely. But I still can't put over this one. I'm such a 64 fanboy that, like, even if this thing came up to 60% accuracy, it will still get my vote. And as far as I'm concerned, I would say it's a good like 85, at least 80% accurate, besides from the jaw, which I had to super glue shut because that's how I wanted him to be. But aside from that, I have no issues with this figure despite the early pictures, which is something we're going to talk about later on when we talk about, I guess, the bad side of collecting. But if I had to pick my top 3 so far, not counting what's coming in the next few months, I would say my top 3 is gigantic 64, the 25-centimeter gargantuas. I love those, and probably. Man, there was some. You're right. There was so many damn figures coming out this year.
Not to throw in while you're thinking, another one that really got me all fuzzy was the 25-centimeter Death Ghidorah. That figure is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yes. You know what? Yeah, you're right. And you know what? You made me think about to the period, which has my third favorite. So my third favorite behind the 64 and the gargantuas is the gigantic Ultra 7. I love Ultra 7. He's my favorite Ultra Warrior, and that's why that's why he's like my third. But it could be interchanged because there's so many other things that came out this year that's amazing, like Frankenstein, the GMK Baragon Mothra set, the new 2001 Godzilla. Honestly, what's coming down the line with the 67, which I know we're going to talk about, the Flying King Ghidorah, Fire Rodan, the 65. Especially the 67. I love that, but we're going to talk about that in a few seconds. But yeah, those are my top 3: gigantic 64, gargantuas, and Ultra 7.
I can't think of a top 3. I literally would need to look at everything that's come out because there'll be times I'm standing in front of my shelves and I'm trying to look for a specific figure, and I'm just constantly doing this number. I'm like, where is it? It's somewhere over here, and I can't find it until it's literally right in front of me. But 64, yeah, it's up there. The Death Ghidorah, yes.
I'll tell you what. How about I just name like the stuff that comes in my brain, and you'll just say if it's like your favorite. I know there has to be one. There has to be one that got you the most excited, and once you got it, it fulfilled that excitement. So off the top of my head, and I know I'm gonna miss a few, but these are the ones that stick out to me. GMK Baragon Mothra set, Death Ghidorah, the new 2001 Favorite Sculptors line, Godzilla GMK. Frankenstein, Anime Goji, Mogera, the new favorite sculptors line 62, Sakai 54, Sakai Shin, 30 centimeter Jet Jaguar, the Space Godzilla, Little Godzilla set.
Yep.
I'm looking around the room here.
I think of all these releases. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm looking around the room trying to see. I know there's a couple more out there. But those are what I can really think of at this particular moment. So out of those, do you have one?
Right. 64, he's up there. Earlier you were saying like solid 80, 85. I'm probably around like the 90-ish. You know, we're talking like out of 100, right?
Right.
Like, you know, I'm in that like the 85, 90 range. You know, if the only things I would have to hit the figure for is the jaw, like you said, if we're going to talk about that. And it feels just overly too similar of a pose to the Gigantic 62 because he's kind of hunched over. The tail's also creeped around, you know, to one angle. And then I started thinking, I wonder if that's maybe they did this on purpose because of the packaging, you know, because they have to get these figures in a specific dimension for packaging to ship. I mean, the gigantic Shin Godzilla was kind of an exception because that thing was just humongous. But X Plus does have requirements that they need to keep the packaging to a certain specifications. So I was like, all right, you know, because it's kind of hunched over 64 again, but I'm thinking about the M164, how he's, you know, straight up, his head's up. And of course, then I had the 30 centimeter 64, which is obviously my favorite of every X Plus ever. So I was stacking my cards against the gigantic 64 based off of how much I love the 30 centimeter, which is perfect. Closed mouth, blue light up dorsal plates, one. The Baragon and Mothra set from GMK, love it. Oh, the favorite sculptors line, GMK Godzilla, love it. Frankenstein, almost love it entirely. The pose was just very static. While I can rant and rave about the Bandai version, I like the pose on the Bandai Frankenstein. It's more dynamic. You know, he's hunched over. Maybe X Plus was running into an obstacle where maybe they thought the figure was going to fall over as far as the weight and balance goes. But, you know, they make these crazy stands like we have on Jet Jaguar that I'm using here. But there hasn't really been any figures this year that I was like, meh. Maybe. I can't think. Yeah.
That's the thing. There are a few figures that I passed on this year. As a matter of fact, that's something I want to talk about like later on. But I want to get to one question that's in the comments right now, and it's from Eric Taylor. He wanted to know, Leslie and Rich, how many figures do you guys have? I know I'm past 100. I don't know in particular, but I know I'm past 100. I don't know the specific number. And I know coming in the year is going to be past that. So that's where I am right now. Plus, I've double dipped. Like, I've gotten like two of the same figure. You know, like the Gigantic 62, I got this one and the Rick. And what else? I got a couple Rodan 64s, 30 centimeters. I got two of them. Don't ask me why. So I'm past the 100 mark. I know, Rich, you probably what at the 160 now, right?
Well, hold on. Let me think about this. Like you said, I have double dipped too. I have two Final Wars Gigants, two 64s, two 73s, two 14s, and other ones that I can't. Two 30 centimeter 54s. I'm probably closer to 200. That's with the Ultraman figures too. So I'm creeping up close to 200 X Plus figures.
Why do you say that? Say that like somebody dropped a house on your foot.
All right. If I write all this down on an Excel spreadsheet and I just just plug a number in what I think I paid for all that, it's going to be scary. It's going to be very, very scary. And I don't want to know, honestly, because it's going to be, yeah. That's why I hesitate when I'm like 200 X Plus figures. Like, what is wrong with me? But yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll just, yeah. So I'm close. Probably, I know I'm over 170. I'm probably maybe over 180 at this time. I haven't counted in some months.
Right, and honestly, I think in a way that's kind of like a good thing, because we have so much. And take this ride with me as I go along here, but I think because they're putting out so many releases that for me, I think it's making me be a smarter collector where I'm starting to prioritize what I really want. Like back in the day, like with the announcement of the recent Yuji Sakai 1989, like the Leslie from 2014 were like, good, Sakai X Plus, I'm getting it. Nowadays, I'm more so like, well, I don't really particularly like the original 89. And with the dorsal plates and the Super X2, and it's the fact that it's pushing like almost 300 when it's all said and done with fees and stuff, shipping included, I'm fine without it. So I think that, yes, the releases are overwhelming and it can get trying sometimes, especially if you get hit with a lot of payment invoices right at the same time, sometimes when you're not really expecting it because of delays and so forth. But I think the good part about that is like it makes you prioritize what you really love versus what you really want. What I see a lot of folks do is like they say they like something, then they pre-order it, then like a month later they turn around and sell it because they don't really like it. In my opinion, I think that's wasting money because you're jumping the gun, you just splurge for absolutely no reason. Like, for example, stuff that's coming out in the future that I know that I'm going to get, that I know that I'm going to set my money aside for. Gigantic 89, Gigantic Mecha Godzilla 1974, the eventual 30 centimeter 73 Megalon, and hopefully Gigan. Those are ones that I know that I will get for sure. So it makes me prioritize about what I really want, and it's making me pass on a few things this year because honestly, I passed a lot more this year than I ever have as X Plus collector in the past because I pretty much have gotten pretty much everything to a certain extent. There are a few things that I passed on this year. Like anime Godzilla, wasn't really feeling that. Not trying to hate on anybody that does have it, but it's not my cup of tea. I didn't get the new 54 with Sarazawa. Didn't get that. I didn't get the what was the other one? I'm not gonna get the Sakai 89. So there are a few things that I am not going to get because once again, I'm trying to be very mindful of my money and I'm trying to be go after stuff that I love versus what I really like. Do you have anything that you want to talk about as in regards to that?
Yeah. I guess over the years I've been, gonna everything X Plus throws, I'm gonna buy it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm at the point where, I'm starting to think that I'm gonna start skipping stuff. And I am. I'm not getting every defo reel. I'm only getting the ones that I want because I'm like, X Plus is just going to start coming up with lines that, let's do this. We got defo reels, defo fakes, whatever, this, that, copycat X Pluses, and, if we keep buying them, they're going to keep making them. At what point do we as collectors say, whoa, pump the brakes there, enough is enough, because think about it. We got the defo reel line, 25 centimeter line, Yuji Sakai line, favorite sculptors line, 30 centimeter line, gigantic series line, 6 lines of figures. Ridiculous. If in technical terms of each line that we have here. So, like you said, the 89, skipping it. I don't need another 89. The new Yuji Sakai one, I'm skipping that one. While I don't like the look of the original one because the teeth are kind of all muddled, they're not as detailed and crisp as they should be. The new one, I love the face. Everything looks mean about it, But after the shoulders, I don't really dig the pose of that figure. I get it. Yuji Sakai would go after more of a dynamic part of Godzilla from the film. That's what that's what he did. That's his, great. What do you do? But I'm skipping that figure. I'm skipping the 25 centimeter Gamera 99. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the Iris or not. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm kind of like teetering. Yes, I'm going to get it. I will not be getting the gigantic Mechagodzilla. Nope, not doing it because can't. I don't even like the pose. It's just standing there, boring looking.
Did you hear that, folks? He is not going to get the Mechagodzilla 1970. This has got to be a Vince Russo swerve. You swerving us, right? Is that what you're doing?
What does X Plus think they're going to do? They're going to start dropping multiple gigantics at the same time on top of the 3 releases that they're doing now? It's ridiculous. I can't. It's just ridiculous. And like I said, I'm not really if they do a 75, all pissed off, mean looking. Hey, John, I did not hit my head. I'm sorry. Don't mind me. I'm wearing some Navy sweatpants. But the 25, the gigantic 74, he's just standing there like this, like he started about to bounce out with the YMCA or something. You know?
Are you really standing there doing that? Do it again. Do it again.
Why can't he look like, one arm like that? Down with some shit.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So I will be getting the gigantic 89. Yes. Like I said, skipping some defo reels. I'm getting the Fire Rodan 65. Definitely getting the new 67. X Plus tease that they're going to do a gigantic Gigan too. It's going to really have to wow me to really go after a gigantic figure that is non-Godzilla. You're going to have to wow me. There's just too much stuff.
Right. Johnson Nancy, thanks for watching. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm like, what? But that's the whole thing. That's the whole point. S Plus is dropping so much stuff on us, it's making us be more selective. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because last time I checked, I'm probably sure it's probably one of us that has like an empty warehouse somewhere that has a limited amount of space where they can buy as much as they want and they can have as much as they want. But myself, I don't have that type of swag, I guess is what the young folks say. I don't have that, but it's making me be a smarter collector. It's making me be something to prioritize, like I said, what I really want. And I think a lot of new collectors should really know that, especially with the diamond reissues. They're more affordable, but whatever. But I think, and I say this because I love X Plus, I always will, I always have. But it's getting to the point now that just because it has X Plus name on it doesn't mean that you have to absolutely buy it. No. I think Rich can agree to this, but you know what? Sometimes it's okay to pass. It's okay to not get everything, because it's not really about a competition, in my opinion. It's about getting what you like, getting what you can afford. And if you can't afford it, so what? There's something else that will come down the line for sure that you may really, really, really want. And since Rich detailed what he's getting down the line, I detail mine when I'm getting, and it's scary considering that a lot of stuff that I'm getting is coming in next month. But up next for me, I'm getting the new crawling Varan from the Favorite Sculptors line, Defo Real 84 with the reactor. God, and I think that's coming out in a couple weeks, if I'm mistaken. Because what's coming out real soon? I forgot. Jim Savanella made a post the other day. What is coming out like next week?
See, my brain's unscrambling themselves. The 25-centimeter crawling landing stage Hedra.
Hedra. Yes, Hedra.
I'm getting that.
You're getting that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I love the Hedora, however pronouncing it. It's such a unique design, and there's not many landing stages out there. I have only the X Plus one. I have a CCP one now. So that was a must pick up for me. So that's coming out soon.
Right. So for me, the new Varan, the Defo Real 84 next month. Even though I'm getting ticked off now because a lot of folks are getting their hands on it now. I'm getting Kong, but I gotta wait till freaking the 21st of November. I gotta wait for that. God almighty. Man, I ain't trying to rant on this live stream here. But I'm getting a 65, going Rick on that one. Absolutely. Monster Zero. Oh my God, Monster Zero. And you know what? This figure release is very monumental. I want to talk about this for a few seconds. Despite the nitpicking, yes, there are a lot of folks that were nitpicking. You know, it didn't look right. It should be 30 centimeter, blah, 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 blah. Of course, everybody's entitled to their opinion. But I think some folks took it a little bit too far, not realizing the fact this is the first release from the movie Monster Zero, one of the best Godzilla films, if not one of the most landmark Godzilla films ever in the franchise. And X Plus, until now, has not produced anything from that movie. So for me, this is a very, very monumental release that I had to go Rick on that one. I assume you're going Rick on that one too, right?
Heck yeah. I mean, I think it's great that we're getting human, more, human-like characters. So to get a Planet X controller or, henchman, awesome. And it's great that we're going back to actual Rick pieces, not light-ups, because I'm burnt out with light-ups, pun intended.
Yeah, I still, I honestly, I feel bad when I watch your Mechagodzilla 75 review. You know what? So let me apologize. I know I had nothing to do with that, but let me apologize because the look on your face reminds me when you unboxed your King Ghidorah from 2014 or 2015. Oh my God, you saw.
That was so much fun, though. I was so glad I was recording that.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing. Like I'm thinking about it because I'm watching this. And the look on your face was like, oh man. You
gotta be kidding me. I saw the head wobble. I'm like, no. Like, I just got done having so much fun. Phil was there, Boxman was there, Billy was there. We were all having all exciting fun, and then all of a sudden, head's off. Easiest fix.
Yeah. And the 75 Mechagodzilla, I was like, who would thought that would happen? The daggone thing would burn out during the course of your review. You sit here singing the praises of it, and here it is being defective while you're recording it.
I loved going back. I forget how I edited it, but I love going back and watching it. Like, yep, that just happened.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of the things that I like, even though I'm not happy that it burnt out, but one of the things I like about stuff like that happening while I'm recording it, because it's kind of like a genuine reaction out of myself, but it shows anybody out there that's watching, like, this is what happens. And what are you going to do? Jim Jenkins, his burnt out. Mine burnt out. I think there was another person that had theirs burn out. I can't remember. I think pretty sure there was at least 3 of us. But it happens. The good thing is that I never planned on displaying that Mechagodzilla with the brain on. I've always wanted the head on. I have the 25 centimeter Mechagodzilla 75 with the brain on. So I'm okay. Still sucks. But I'm glad it happened while I was recording.
Yeah, it's the magic of I guess at that point live TV while you're recording it. It made for an entertaining moment, you know what I mean? But the collector in me was like, man, I feel bad. I mean, I feel bad that you had to go through that because not like we can send them down to our local shop and have them fix it and blah blah blah. But that's the risk you take buying stuff from Japan.
Yep. Allwell GSP1. He said, if I try switching out the battery box, but that's not it. That's not the case. It wasn't the battery pack. The light actually burnt out. And I think I did try either different batteries or another battery pack. The only way to really go in and fix that is to get a new bulb and resolder it, or however that's done. And it's not that important to me. So it is what it is.
Right. And aside from the Varan and Death for Real 84, I'm getting, like I said, the 65 Rick, getting Fire Rodan. I'm getting the Flying King Ghidorah with the amazing Mount Fuji backdrop. Can't wait for that. I'm getting 2 Death for Real GMKs, one for me and one for my wife. I'm getting the Death for Real 62. And I'm getting Kong, and I'm getting the 67. Going Rick on that one. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff coming, which is why I'm glad I have a second job just to pay for all this stuff. But you know what? I don't look at it as a hassle. I look at it as me just acquiring what I want. But I do know that it can get overwhelming. But let me ask you this: with all this stuff going on, and consider how far you have come, what is different about Rich Eso the collector in 2018 versus the Rich Eso from 2013?
Still short. Let's see. A lot, actually. But I mean, you know, we refine ourselves as we go, as far as collecting, as collectors only. Not talking about what we're doing here, as far as what we do at our YouTube channels. But you know, I've grown as a person. There's different things that I want to do aside from collecting. I just, you know, I don't work and just come home and just play with my dolls all the time. While it is a lot of fun. As a person, though, I don't know. I don't know. Hit me with something. What are we looking for here?
Would you say, aside from you being selective, that would you say that maybe I would say your excitement, but do you think that because of them producing a lot of figures and throwing them out on us, do you think in the long run would that hurt the hobby, or will it help, you know, would it help bring future potential collectors in? Do you think, you know, there's a fine line with that? You think it's good and bad? You think it's a straight good, straight bad? Or just how do you feel about that?
All right, so that's there's a lot of different directions we can go in, and feel free to chime in and stop me, and you know, if you want to add your own input. There is a lot of stuff coming out, and even the way I've been collecting over the last 5 years, and mind you, it's not just been X Plus, it's been Marmots, it's been Toy Graphs, it's been some Giga Brain stuff, it's been some SH Monster Art stuff. It's been ridiculous, you know, honestly. You know, so it's making me change to be selective, and like we've mentioned already, you know, I'm starting to skip some stuff. I'm skipping that crawling Varan, that 30 centimeter. I've pretty much sold off most of my SH Monster Arts collection. I've kept the pieces that I love, you know, really, really excite me as far as the SH Monster Arts line. But as far as X Plus goes, there is just so much stuff coming from X Plus Japan. There's all the Diamond reissues that, you know, Mike Jerkowski, if he's out there watching, you know, he calls me an X Plussy, because the reissues are great and all, because it gives it a great opportunity to get these figures that have not seen a reissue in Japan to get into collectors' hands, because X Plus is much, much more popular today than it was in 2013 and 14 when I started. Mind you, the X Plus group only had 50 some odd people in the group when I joined it in 2013, and the group was already 2 years old at that point, I believe. So introduced the Diamond reissues. X Plus, you know, they're selling like hotcakes. X Plus sees, hey, we got a market, we got a great thing going on, so they start chucking figures out. Like, what are we used to this past 2 years? Almost 3 a month. It's ridiculous. So, like, when I have a month off, I'm like, oh, thank you. I can go out and buy ramen. So it's just, the landscape has changed. You know, as far as helping collectors that are in this line now, it's great, because you look in the X Plus group now, or the Godzilla Collectors group, or the Kaiju Fan Marketplace, or any of these groups where people are selling stuff. I see 30 centimeter figures going for $110 shipped. And not a bite. No one is biting on them. A standard 30 centimeter figure, not Rick, goes, the average in Japan was $160 for a standard like this, Jet Jaguar, standard, about $160. Obviously, he might have been a little bit less. I can't remember the exact price because there's less vinyl. But we got figures that just sit on the group now. People are trying to dump their collections that jumped in on the Diamond, you know, purge or release gates. And it's kind of hurting the market in some aspects of the value of these figures, because now there's just so much out there. But again, it's great for anybody getting in, because you can get 30 centimeter figures for $110 shipped. It's amazing. It's great. Like part of me is like, I wish I waited. I paid. Trying to think of some of the prices I've paid on some of these figures, and I'm like, probably sometimes double compared, or maybe even triple compared to what you could get some of them for now. But the value is still there, honestly, because to me, I don't look at it as a monetary value. I look at these figures because I love them. They're capturing something right out of the movie, especially this Jet Jaguar figure. Oof, that's a beautiful figure. That's why I got him up here. This Shin Godzilla, beautiful figure. But the Jet Jaguar, it's true 30-centimeter figure. Looks like it just got ripped right out of the movie screen. So I don't collect because I'm concerned about the money issues or what the value is. But it is something that we as collectors we do need to consider at some point or another, because it's the money that we're spending. And I guess I feel bad for when collectors are selling their stuff, because it sucks to see somebody have to let them go, because I think about like, oh God, I would hate to have to sell them. Or if it's personal preference, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll never judge in that aspect. But it just stinks because I see people trying to sell stuff and it's just nobody's buying them. There's a 64 on the X Plus group right now, and if it's not sold by the end of this live stream, you couldn't get a 64 right now anywhere. And that figure was originally reissued by Diamond back in 2014, I think. And for $200, that's a steal. So if it's not sold yet, go in the X Plus group, people, and buy it, because $200 is a great deal on that figure. But X Plus, again, I'm rambling all over the place like I had a cup of coffee. But X Plus is we got the Diamond reissues. So most of them are getting canceled now, which is kind of odd, from the 25-centimeter line. But makes me wonder, if they're canceling them, maybe they're going to do their own thing in Japan, where they're going to reissue them in their own way. Some of these Diamond reissues got canceled, and then they show up on the Rick site, as reissues. Some of them, not all of them. I mean, we got what? Anguirus, the Hedra, King Ghidorah, and some other ones. But X Plus knows they're hot right now, so that's why they're throwing so much at us, because we're scooping them up like dogs getting treats thrown at them. And again, nothing wrong with it, but our market is saturated like a wet sponge. So it's a good thing for those getting into it. It's a bad thing for those trying to get out of it, because you're going to lose money when you spent $160 and people just trying to get rid of this stuff for $110. And it's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just, be it X Plus figures, it could be baseball cards, Pogs, Beanie Babies, whatever you got. That's just how the collecting world works. And honestly, I think what is a fair assessment is to understand how things work. You got to look at it from both sides. So that's my ramble. I'll leave it at that.
It's not rambling. It's actually a great assessment, and it's a very an interesting one, which actually it does make a lot of sense, because I am feeling the same way. The market is very, very oversaturated, but once again, I try to take up what could be a potential issue and try to look at it from a positive perspective as far as I'm concerned. And I try to educate others, not trying to do the same thing that I do, but at least be more mindful of their money, because that's what I've learned from veteran collectors and X Plus enthusiasts or whatever, especially more so now where X Plus is doling out so many figures at us, where back in the day, I remember back like in 2014, like I think the gigantic Burning Godzilla came out and King Ghidorah came out, and I remember like buying stuff like once every 2 or 3 months. Ever since like 2015, I know I bought something like every single month of the year, and that's fine. But now, like I said, now it's getting more to the point where I'm like, the 89, the new one, I don't really need a new light up, don't really need a new Super X2, so I'm fine with that. The new Gamera, not really feeling it, even though I love Gamera, especially the Heisei one. But I just think that I look at that as a positive because that's for me not getting that Gamma or me not getting that Sakai, which I think they're both coming out within the same month.
Yeah,
that's like $400 that I'm saving right there, and I think a lot of folks should look at it the same way.
Don't forget the Real 64 Godzilla.
Say what?
And then there's the Defo Real 64 Godzilla.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that. The Defo Reals, I don't really see much of an issue. For one, they don't really take up space. For one, they're cute, and then they're really, really affordable. At first, I wasn't going to get into this line, but thank you to Jeffrey Mulek. I got this from him last G-Fest, and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to just get the ones that I like. That's why I'm really looking forward to the 84. That 84, man, oh my God, which I feel is a really overlooked Godzilla design, which I hope at some point they make a gigantic. I really do. I love the 84. For some reason, I just have a strong connection with the 84, even though I am appreciative of the fact that the 89 is coming, and I'm going to get it no matter what. But I wish at some point they would throw a little bone to the gigantic line when it comes to throw a bone to the 84 when it comes to the gigantic, or bring us a Sakai 84 or something like that. But that's neither here or there. But in the future, considering what you got pre-ordered, what's the one thing that you most excited about getting? The 67?
Oh man. Okay, I got to put the thinking cap back on as to what we have pre-ordered here. So I got the 25 centimeter crawling landing stage Hedra Rick with the factory, 25 centimeter Rick 65, the 30 centimeter out of scale Fire Rodan, which I'm okay with.
We're gonna talk about that.
The Rick Defo Real 64, Rick Defo Real 84. Obviously, I'm going with the Rick 30 centimeter 67. And I think that is everything as of right now that I have pre-ordered with Mike Johnson. So I guess which one am I excited? I'm really looking forward to the 65 because much like it was when I got this guy in the box, I felt like it's been forever. And, I'll reiterate this on my review. I feel like it's been forever that I got a standard 25. It's over there. That's what I'm pointing at. Standard 25 centimeter window display, 25 centimeter box. And that's very nostalgic for me because I'm gonna go get it. Because
I love how you cut away like that.
What's up?
I said I love how you cut away like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. But this is nostalgic for me because I had these were just stacking up ridiculously in 2013. So it's still kind of like a blast from the past to get one of these. Now to think that, we're going to get one with the 25 centimeter 65, it's exciting. And what's more exciting, maybe this is going back to some of the other questions before, is that we're getting figures that they haven't done. Like, enough with the double dipping reissues or adjustments to the closed mouth, open mouth, arms up, light ups, whatever. Give me kaiju that have not been done yet. So that's exciting, to get all, in either scale. Do I need another 67? Yes. But I already have one in the 25 centimeter scale, so I'm excited to get one in the 30 centimeter scale. And it's Showa. I love Showa. Showa was where my heart's at. Then Heisei, and then Millennium, obviously, and then I don't know whatever we're calling the new era. So the 25 centimeter 65's got me excited, and I'm always excited for new releases. The Rodan I'm excited for because I've been saying it for years. Please give me a flying version of Rodan, and now we're getting one. So I hope we maybe eventually we'll get a flying version of a Showa Rodan down the road.
I think that's possible. I think with the release of Fire Rodan, and if it'll be a success, with it being able to be stable on top of whatever is going to hold it in place in the air, whatever. I think if that will be successful, if we don't have any complaints of any issues of people getting it, saying that it fell off the pegs or whatever, or the stands doesn't support it. If it comes across as a full-blown success, I think we will see more flying Rodans or flying creatures in general, like Hedra, Megaguirus, Batra. Now, the Flying King Ghidorah is the one that's going to be the wild card, because this is a first for a figure that size. Now, I just finished watching, or rewatching, I should say, your King Ghidorah review, not the hilarious unboxing, but the actual review. And there's a part anyway you said that the figure, and which is true, has like some weight to it. I think there's something that's stuffed in there to give it more weight.
The legs are filled with resin.
Right. I think that for how they're gonna pull off this new one, they're not gonna fill it with resin, because if they put it on those stands that we've seen, it will come down. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like a hollow King Ghidorah to pull off the effect of it flying. That's what I think. And I think if that's a success, then we will see flying King Ghidorahs, or at least flying other incarnations of King Ghidorah we have not seen yet, like the 91, like Mecha King Ghidorah, or maybe the original 64, even though S Plus USA did a resin version. But honestly, I would love King Ghidorah 64. Even though it's the same suit from Ghidorah 3 at Monster and Monster Zero, I like his look better in Monster Zero, even though it's the same suit. But I don't know what they did, but they made the suit look a little bit better, and they were able to improve on a lot of things with the suit during the course of the film of Monster Zero. But even though in the film he's only on screen for less than 2 minutes, look it up, people. Look it up. He's not on screen that long if you add up the minutes when King is on screen. But I think that's what they're gonna do with this new Flying King Ghidorah next month. It's gonna be hollow, so it can be supported under those stands. Because those stands, even though I pre-order it, still is worrying the crap out of me. Yeah. I don't want to come home and find, especially if I have on my table here, I don't want to come home and find his wing over there, his horn over there, his head over there. So that's what got me concerned.
I walked into my room once to see my 25 centimeter Mothra adult, doing a tip over. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, So I have a problem with, my stand has a problem with the rod going through for the 25 centimeter Mothra, 64. And it's there. It looks like, it feels like when they drilled the hole, they went up and down twice. So there's like 2 shafts in there. And they ended up, it feels like that it was drilled twice and that the rod ended up working its way from one shaft into the other. So it's too big now.
Right.
So earlier in the year, I just said, you know what? I'm not risking this figure falling over. So I took the rod off, and I just have Mothra sitting on top of the rock with her wing over the egg to make it kind of look like it did in the movie when she was protecting the egg as she, died.
Yeah. I saw that.
But yeah, that's a risk, with these figures flying. John Kajuatic just said that, they're not going to fill it. If you could, honestly, that's like the safest bet. If, that's how it should be done, because there's going to be some serious weight and balance problems. If the legs are filled with resin, it would, there's no way it would stand on that. The figure would probably, because it's going to be kind of like that leaning, the legs would just end up bringing all the way down, making it want to come up like a seesaw like that, and it's going to break and all that good stuff. Not good stuff, not fresh stuff. So
you ain't lying about that. That's what I think they're going to do, is going to make it hollow. But I'm really looking forward to that release, because for one, I'm a huge King Ghidorah fan. And honestly, I've been wanting to get another King Ghidorah, because me, I'm into setups and how I like to put my setups, figures like, my Shin setup up here. I like putting random figures together to make setups. And that Mount Fuji backdrop is going to be amazing. I've always wanted something like that, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to position it, but I'll figure out a way. But between that and the fact that it's flying and it's kind of altered, where he does have that more of an aerodynamic posture, was a reason why I wanted to get it. I was really thinking about getting that whole Destroyer monster set up for like $2,000, but I was like, no, I ain't doing it. No. Because the gigantic Shin from last year, oh my God, when I got the bill for that from Hobby Search, it's funny. It's funny. It's like, I wake up in the mornings early on like weekdays. I try to sleep in on Saturday because I work a lot. So I wake up early, like around on the average 6:30 to 7 o'clock on weekdays, and during the night, that's when the emails come in because they're like 12 hours ahead of us. So that particular day, I pull up my email, I see a message from Hobby Search, like, oh, okay, it's the payment invoice for Shin. I I opened up and I was like, 77. What in that? What? I'm like, yes, you fat bastard.
Yep.
Oh, 700. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh man. That's when I was like, you know what? I need to be more cautious, with what I spend my money on. But at the same time, I do love this thing. I do love the gigantic Shin. That's why when the new one came out, when they decided to bring out the new war, when it came out like last week, I was like, no, ain't doing it. Especially with all the stuff I already got pre-ordered. That's why I knew not to, put myself head under a whole lot of payment invoice. I didn't want to put that on myself, even though I can afford it. Don't get me wrong, but once again, it's about being smarter and being more mindful of your money. Speaking of Shin, let's talk about this for a couple of seconds. Cause I see you got yours. Yep. You went standard, right?
Yes, I did.
I went Rick. First and foremost, when can we expect another stellar review of that dude? Oh, actually, which one are you doing first? Cause I know you already done Jet Jaguar. Which one are you doing first? The Sakai Shin, or are you doing the 54 Serizawa?
I'm not sure. I actually only just got them home today because I wasn't able to bring them home. I have all my stuff delivered to work, so I have what I call the never miss a box day insurance plan because
yes.
Work is always open. And I just got them home today. So I'm not sure. Probably gonna try to knock out both of them in the next 7 days. Probably going to do the Shin first, and then I'll go to this 54. But yeah, I just put the tail on literally before we started this, and
okay,
and the tail on both of them.
So how are you liking it? So how are you liking it, or how is he fair against the other? Not only Sakai's, but I guess how does he fare against? I know you got the gigantic Shin. I know you got the Death for Real, and know you got the 25. Where does this guy rank? Or you want to say that for the review?
No, I'll do it now.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As far as detail wise, this is much more detailed than the 25 centimeter. I haven't compared yet to the 25, but I've saw some pictures that this is a little bit taller than the 25 centimeter. Now, given the fact that this is a Yuji Sakai figure, it is 30 centimeter scale, but it is still on the smaller side of what a true 30 centimeter figure is. But it's bigger than most of the other Yuji Sakai figures.
You know what? Let's test that right now, because I'm going to bring up Jack Daniels here, and I'm going to put him up against the Sakai Shin and see how they fare against each other. Now, we all know that the 30 centimeter 84 is not really fully 30 centimeters. He's like hovering at 29 and a half, something like that. And actually, this is the diamond reissue one. I got two 84s. I love the 84 that much. And we all know that the 84 diamond reissue is a little bit somewhat taller. I think they changed the scope a little bit where he stands a little bit more taller. And as you can see, Sakai Shin has a little bit, he's like a smidgen of a hair taller. So he's right at almost at 30. So really, he's the first truly full 30 centimeter Sakai from the Yuji Sakai 30 centimeter line. So,
well, but technically, this is the biggest Godzilla there is. He should be bigger. It's bigger than the other Yuji Sakai figures, I think it should be. But it's at the 30 centimeter scale as far as size wise goes. Like if we were measuring, but you bring up Space Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, he'll probably tower. Those will tower over.
Oh, for sure. You know,
and to me, those are like for instance, I got Jet Jaguar right here. Jet Jaguar is taller than him. You know.
Yeah, but ain't Jaguar like 31 centimeters, something like that, because of his head being so pointy?
Yeah, maybe. But I'm saying, like, this is like, is scaling wise was like a big factor here.
Yeah.
Godzilla, what? He was like 120 meters, no, 110 meters or something in the movie. He was big. He was freaking huge. You know, so if we're being picky, and you know, I'm just being picky now. Yes, he is at the 30 centimeter mark, but if we're going based off of like scaling, he should probably be a little bit bigger. But again, this is coming from a resin sculpt, so of course, now you know, as far as technicalities go, there is going to be that shrinkage when we take from resin to vinyl, and that's why all the Yuji Sakai figures are smaller. They clock in around the 27, 28 centimeter mark under the 30 centimeter line, because you know it's that conversion from resin to vinyl. So,
right.
But it is the bigger. It is probably the biggest Yuji Sakai figure, I think. But I won't know until I compare.
Well, actually, hold on. I have a couple within arm's reach. I have my favorite, the Hokkaido 91, and let's see how he fares. So as you can see, look, see it, the Sakai Shin towers over him a lot more so than the 30 centimeter 84 just now.
Yeah.
And let me bring up one more. The Sakai 54. And honestly, when you put these two bastards together, they look amazing. Oh my God. You got the Alpha and well, I can't say Omega because we got the anime Godzilla, but this is like a modernization, if that's even a word, I guess. This is a modern take of the 54. Is just more horrific and all that good stuff because of the eyes and the teeth and stuff like that. So, but as you can see, he does tower over the 54 Sakai. Almost around the same height as the 91. But let me ask you this. Are you happy that you went standard, or would you prefer to have gone with the Rick, or does it matter?
Honestly, all right, now, have you done your review yet?
Not yet. I already got my prep work done. I just got to put in the meat and the potatoes of it, I guess. And mine are probably uploaded. I'm gonna film it tomorrow. Between tomorrow and I'll probably have it up at least by the end of the week.
Okay. Side note, I try not to watch. Actually, I almost never watch anybody's reviews until after I do mine. That way I have, you know, it's my own review and I'm not trying to like say something that somebody else has done.
Right.
But when you do yours, I want to see yours, because I wouldn't be able to know unless I seen two, you know, the standard and the Rick together.
Right.
Based off of what I've seen in pictures, like I said on your post in the X Plus group the other day, it's like they almost look identical. But now, yeah, I mean, and again, I'd have to see like some straight up legit comparison shots of them next to each other, or you know, in your review, whoever else went with the Rick. Because based off of pictures I've seen from your Rick, other people's Ricks, it's like they don't look really any different. You know, so I am glad I went standard.
Right.
There was not enough oomph for me to say, okay, you know, I'm going to go with the Rick based off of the photos that X Plus themselves posted when they were, you know, announcing these figures. I'm like, I can't really see the difference. And maybe the idea was that the Rick is supposed to be a little bit brighter or red, I guess.
Well, it's made with the red vinyl with the silver lining into it. Centimeter burning Godzilla, how they, I think, did it with the orange vinyl to make the first one, not the one from Wonderfest, but the one that came out. I want to say it was last year. Yeah, it was last year. And they did something with the vinyl. It was orange vinyl, which why the vinyl on that one, the orange areas on that one pop out more than the gigantic, especially the 25 centimeter. It's the same thing here. And I think with these Sakai, Shin, for example, is one of those figures that you have to really have them up close to really know the difference, because pictures can tell a misleading story. I'm sure on pictures they do pretty much look the same or look, you know, very, very similar. But, you know, lot of people taking different pictures, use different lighting settings or whatever. So it's kind of hard to convey with a picture. Maybe my review will, dishevel some of that. But actually, a couple of guys have done a review for it. Godzilla 851, he just made a review of the Rick, and I forgot the other guy. He's Super Ghidorah, Ghidorah number or something on YouTube. He made a review of the Rick. But it's one of those situations where this is something I want to ask you too, and which is kind of like, I guess, going to, the negative part when it comes to collecting and whatever. But which is, I've seen a lot of this lately. People have gotten freaked out over these early pictures from these figures, and I know for a fact when the pictures of these surfaced at Wonderfest a couple months ago, which was oversaturated with light, I know for a fact that a couple people had said that they were going to drop their pre-order because they didn't like how the figure looked in the pictures. Right. Not realizing, of course, that for one, this is something I've always said, and I still stand by this, and something I want to let other people know, especially new collectors. And I've said this, Rich has said this, Godzilla 851 said this, Godzilla said this, Diego Doom has said this, Samson West has said this. We've all said it. Pictures do not do these figures justice. You have to have them in your hand to really fully understand. But a lot of folks freaked out, especially when it came to this release, and there was so much debate when they were starting to head their way over here to Japan. Like, what are they going to look like? Especially early pictures of people overseas that are collectors and posting pictures of it out of the box. A lot of folks was like, the Rick doesn't look that good. It doesn't look that different from the standard. And I just think that you take the fun out of it. You know what I mean? By doing that, by just John Ruffin, they take magnificent pictures, but once again, a picture can't do these things justice, and that's why I reserve judgment until I get the figure in my hand. And I always say, if something happens and you still don't like the figure when you get it in your possession, if it still fails to meet your expectations, you can always resell it. Because I know this guy for a fact. This guy is sold out almost everywhere. Unless you're willing to pay like $100 more on eBay, or maybe you can try and score one for a good price on Buy. But other than that, you can't find this guy anywhere. So that's why I always say, don't judge it by a picture. Wait till you get it in your hand, and then go from there. If you still don't like it, you can always resell it. What are your thoughts about that?
Okay, so let's go back to the whole pictures thing first. One of the biggest problems that we when we first see these pictures that I get taken, they're usually done with flash. If I ever see somebody out there taking pictures of their kaiju figures and I'm in there in person and you're using flash, I'm going to smack the camera out of your goddamn hands. Flash kills photos. Don't use flash. You're ruining it. You're making it look horrible. That's why the pictures look horrible. Don't use flash. Oh, it's aggravating. I hate it. It's you overexpose the figure. You take away the depth when you're using flash. You're killing it. It's like, just go take pictures of Bandai Creation figures, please. Yeah, I'm getting a little raw about that. But yes, when the figures come out, they're at Wonderfest, they're at these shows in Japan. Remember, people, those are a prototype, first of all. A prototype. That means it was hand-painted, airbrushed in the X Plus office. And I can vouch for that because when we were in Japan, we were there. We watched them. We were watching the guy paint the Yuji Sakai figure, and that's the one that they took the photographs of and they posted on the rig site. So the prototypes are always good. That's why they call it a prototype. People forget that. It's a prototype. It's not a final product. It probably says it somewhere in the Japanese description on the rig site on the pre-order page. Okay, so think. That's why there's variations when we get them, because it's a production line version. Okay. So something about the paint jobs about this figure, I know some people were saying, I don't know how well you can see it on your end, but there was some difference between the back and the tail on this. This is the first time I looked at it in the last few minutes, and mine, from what I can see, is pretty good. No, it does. It doesn't look like there's any difference in the paint job. So I don't have a defected one. I guess I got lucky. So no issues there. So I think it's unfair to judge a figure by either prototype pictures or what we saw on a table months before the figure comes out, or if somebody's using flash photography, because you're not really giving the figure any justification until you have it in your own damn hands. And there has been plenty of times where I've seen people take pictures, you know, because they usually get in collectors' hands out in Japan first, and they kill it with flash, drown it with flash, and then I get the figure, and I'm like, oh, much better, much better. So don't judge a book by its cover. Wait till you get it home, and you open them up, and you sniff it out and everything. He doesn't smell anymore. Now I'm sad. Hold on a minute. I lost his friend. Come here. Nothing. That's because it's getting cold. The weather's changing, and these fans suck too. Anyway, so, you know, don't judge until you get it. Wait till you get it at home. And then if you don't like it, and you know what, you feel like you got gypped, X Plus has a phone number. Call him. Tell him you want to speak to G. You want to talk to him about his figures. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Probably not. He's not going to care anyways. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, don't put that out there. Because what I understand, G is a nice guy, and he's the greatest.
I do want to say something. You mentioned this earlier when you mentioned price tags. Not so much on the Shin, but that whole Destroy All Monster set.
Yes, sir.
So, gee, if you're ever watching this, you got a pair of balls, man, on you to release like 10 figures for like $2,000. What a pair. You got like the biggest pair of X Plus balls ever, because God bless anybody that drops some serious cash. But on another note with that is like, where is the strategic marketing plan behind that? Hey, let's reissue all these figures, most of them separately, and then let's just do a big set for $2,000. That's gonna hurt them, I think.
Well, I hate to interrupt on that one, but according to Varzilla, and he's actually right on this one. I was one of the ones that actually I suggested that X Plus will probably do something like that in honor of the film's 50th anniversary this year. I was saying that maybe they will probably issue the figures in a set or whatever. But I meant like maybe do it like 2 monsters at a time, like with Baragon and Varan and Manda and Mothra. I didn't mean release the whole damn 11 monster lineup. I didn't mean all that. And then when I saw that coming for pre-order, I was like, huh, are they listening to me? Are they watching me? But that, once again, that Mount Fuji backdrop is cool. So I applaud them for having that little hook for me to whatever. But when I saw the King Ghidorah, I was like, oh yeah, I got to go after that one. So I'm somewhat, I guess, responsible, I guess, for them doing that. But at least on the bright side, they're making what, only 50 sets of those. So if you got like $1,200, yeah, easy peasy.
Is that all they're doing? Is it only 50 sets?
I heard. Well, I don't know if it's 50, but I read it's gonna be like a limited.
All right.
Like,
I'm glad if that's the case, because I think they'd be crazy if they were just gonna expect to get like 500 pre-orders for that, because that ain't gonna happen.
Right. So that's why I said that it's gonna be like a limited number. I'm guessing maybe 50 to 100, maybe, but I don't know.
Right.
But yeah.
Sorry.
But we got like 25 more minutes to go, and then we'll be almost at the 2-hour mark, and then that'll be it. Like I said, I don't want to take too much of your time. I've had a blast doing this, you know what I mean? Somebody mentioned earlier that we have got to do these. Kaiju Basement Tony C says we have got to do these more often. You know what? I agree. You know what? For a while, you know what? Because I've been busy on my channel. Obviously, Rich's been busy on his channel. And the last time we've had any kind of like video project was when I interviewed Rich back in the 2015 G-Fest. Now, we were part of the Summit Kaiju thing this past G-Fest a couple months ago. But our schedules were so conflicted we couldn't really get together. But I think, moving forward, we should definitely do more of these more often. As a matter of fact, I have a project in mind that I did mention to David Dopko and a couple of people that I'm sure that I hope you want to be a part of.
Damn.
Team 64 versus Team 62. And what I want to do is...
You froze on me. What was it? Go back like 5 seconds.
I said my idea is Team 64 versus Team 62. That's the next live stream idea I want to do. Where myself, and maybe if you want to come, you're more than welcome to join. David Dotco and a couple of people that love, the 62, whatever. And we're going to talk about collectibles, movies. Which team are you on? Are you on Godzilla 1962 team or you're on Godzilla 1964 team? I think that'll be a great debate discussion on why we feel our particular Godzilla is the best one, which I find it very, very ironic because I, for one, like you, love the 64 to no end. And I put a post up there, I believe like around a month ago, claiming which team are you on? And I was thinking that a lot of folks would be going for the 64. Figures or because of the design itself, because of the movie, but 62 won that stupid ass debate. So we'll that's next live stream idea that I want to do. So yeah, you're more than welcome to be a part of it. If you're interested in doing it, I'll let you know. It'll be definitely before Thanksgiving. Around that time, I'm sure a lot of stuff will have come out by then. Maybe we can talk about some stuff before we get into that discussion. But that's the next live stream idea.
Boom, I like it. And I got to get back to doing Fresh Final Live. So, because the last one that we did was at G-Fest, so I'm slacking in that department. I do want to give another shout out to Kaiju Basement Tony C. Earlier, I was talking about when we were at G-Fest Sunday night, talking to some people, and Tony was one of the dudes that I was shooting the shit with. As I was in the middle of my ping pong and talking with him and Ken Bachleman. So two good guys there. Hope to see you next year and spend a little bit more time with you just shooting the breeze. So Kaiju Basement Tony C. Check him out. He's got a pretty sick-ass collection going on, and he's doing YouTube videos as well. Boom.
Now, let's find out more about you and your taste and what you like and blah, blah, blah. In that I'm gonna take a figure and another random figure, and you'll just say which one you like between the two. You can go into a little detail about why you like one over the other one, but I think that'll be a cool exercise to close out the show. And later on, I'm gonna make a full show out of this. X plus versus. So this probably maybe five random matchups. Like which are the two figures that you like out of the one that I pick. Hold on a second.
This is scary. I've never pitted X Plus figures against each other.
Yeah, but you know what? I post like this on the group.
I know you do.
I post like what do you like more, Terramecha Godzilla or Monster Zero, just to see where people. I do it that way we can learn more about each other, and it'll make for fun conversations. So all right, just random questions. Then we go into the X Plus versus. Of course, I know your favorite 30 centimeter is the 64 red with the blue LED little doser plates, right?
Sir.
Favorite gigantic is?
Shin Godzilla.
Really?
Yeah. It is. Look at it behind you. It's just beautiful. That big, beautiful, red, mutated bastard.
Okay. When it comes to the gigantic, let's expand on that for a little bit. What's the one that's underrated? What's the one that deserves a lot more love than it gets, in your opinion?
64.
Really? Okay. You know what? This is the thing. When I asked the first question about your favorite gigantic, I thought you would have picked the Burning Godzilla. Honestly,
I was teetering. It was either that or the Shin, and the Shin is just so massive of a figure. It's just ridiculous. just ugh.
Yeah. As
Nice.
much as we paid for it, he might as well be the best. All right. What's your favorite? Well, I think I don't know the answer to that question. Your favorite era collectors that you like to favorite era of figures that you like to collect from? Is it Showa, right? Showa. Okay. Okay. What's your favorite Sakai? 30 centimeter.
The 91.
Which one?
91.
The first one, the Hokkaido one?
Yeah, not that one with that stupid, dumbass freaking tail stand. That's ridiculous.
You ain't lying, man. I threw that. Oh my God. Your intro to that was me when I got it out the box. I was like, what is this? What kind of contraption is this?
I will admit I exaggerated most of that, but it was falling apart very much how it does, you know. But what a really, you know, if I had to go to Japan, I would take that stand and I would look at G and I'd dump it on his desk like this. Garbage.
Yeah, I'm like, Mr. G, I love you. I love everything you have done for us. You're a great guy, but that one right there, it's kind of like Vince McMahon in the WWE, because we all know that everything that happens on WWE television goes through him, you know, whether it's good or bad. And, you know, he's the final say so. I know G is kind of like that in a way with X Plus. So how did that slip by? How did he greenlit that?
I just don't get it. Let's take, you know, this will be a good idea because this size is going to be perfect for that 91. But let's make two freaking crutches to hold up the tail when you could have just had something like this. It makes no freaking sense. None whatsoever. And you know what I think, honestly, if I didn't say it in the review, I'm thinking maybe they were trying to save some money because these are chunks of vinyl. Maybe they were trying to save some money to go with that crap, you know, and they failed ultimately because I'm going to actually try it with this tail stand from the Yuji Sakai Shin because that's all you really needed, a small one. The bigger tail stands were probably too big that you ended up making the figure lean forward. This one, you only need a little bit of the smaller one. But
Actually, you know what? Two things. For that particular 91, you know what I use? I actually use my Godzilla 2000 gigantic tail stand for that one. Because, you know, that one has a larger tail stand for that. And I actually use like 3 small mini tail stands for my gigantic 2000 in place of it. So that's what I use for mine.
So, yeah, original 91, favorite Yuji Sakai.
But can you imagine if they did that same messed up tail contraption for Shin? Can you imagine that?
I would. I had the address, the X Plus headquarters. I'd mail it back.
Oh! By the way, guess what? Guess who's up here? We have James Hartman. Hey, James, how you doing? Go away.
Forrest Gump.
I love you, James. Man, like me and James been going back and forth with each other for like the past week. I love that dude, and I'm not gonna mess with him because if you've seen his arms, his arms are like the size of watermelons, and he can like punch you and break you like that Dennis Dunn dude from Unbreakable. So I'm not going to test him. Plus, I know I'm going to see him at G-Fest next year. So hey, James, how you doing? It's good to see you. Kind of, sort of.
Wrestling match. I want to be the referee because I'm short, and it'll just make you guys look that much more awesome.
No, I was going to buy him a pizza and call him a day and just call it a day.
That works.
Like Michael Jackson said one time, I'm a lover, not a fighter. All right. Let's see. Your favorite sculptors line released thus far this year?
Oh man. Shoot. Gonna have to be Death Ghidorah.
Ghidorah?
Yeah, Death Ghidorah.
Death Ghidorah. Okay.
That's a hard one. What's yours?
If I had to pick one, probably honestly, I'm gonna go with the GMK Baragon Mothra set. That one, that's awesome to me. Like those two complete the last 2 remaining pieces, components to one of my most favorite Godzilla films of all time. So I'll have to go with that. And the fact I got it in the aftermarket because I didn't pre-order it at first. But yeah, that's like my favorite release thus far. Now, the Varan really has got my interest, with the statue, and I love Varan. I find him very underrated, and I love the crawling Varan, and the fact that we're getting a new crawling Varan just in time for his birthday. As a matter of fact, I want to say because today's what, the 13th, the 14th. Tomorrow's the 14th, right?
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, Varan's 60th anniversary or birthday is tomorrow on October 14th. October 14th, 1958, Varan was released. So he has a birthday tomorrow, I think. So happy birthday to Varan. Yes, 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 yes. So
I did skip that figure, but that statue, the Rick statue, awesome looking.
Right. And what's your favorite 25 centimeter figure of all time, if you had to pick one?
Favorite 25. Oh God.
And I noticed like a loaded question because there's so many 25, so many great 25s.
My brain is just trying to go through them all. Oh darn.
If you ask me, mine is King Ghidorah.
Thinking about that. The crawling Baragon is a beautiful figure. Oh, what do you have back there? Maybe something will help me think about it.
Now, that's the thing. I'm not really big on the 25. Now, I have been getting more into the 25s recently this year. Like I got my hands on the 25 centimeter 84, 64, the crawling Varan, the 68. So I've been going after more so 25s. I never thought I would do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, mine is my favorite of all time is King Ghidorah, of all time. But you got Biollante, Legion, Mothra. I'm about to say a kaiju that I'm about to put into the S Plus Versus thing. But I don't want to say that right now. Baragon, you said, Kaiser Ghidorah, GMK Ghidorah, the Gargantuas, Titanosaurus, Mecha Godzilla, Megalon.
So pretty much all of them. Yeah, they're all awesome. I can tell you right off the top of my head the one that I like the least, and that's the 25 centimeter 62.
Yeah.
Just an ugly skull. Somebody on my YouTube channel asked me, if I don't like it, why do I have it? And I haven't responded to him yet. But my answer after I read it is like, because I'm a sick person and I was at a stage in life where I had to buy them all. If that figure was released today, I'd probably skip it. But the completionist in me said I had to have it. And that's kind of going into why I got this. Do I really need another 54? No. The Yuji Sakai 54 is like perfect. The 30 centimeters are practically perfect. The gigantic, practically perfect. This one, I'll say it now, like the face feels a little flat just in the upper snout area. It feels a little flat from certain angles. But I wanted this. I wanted this diver because this is not something other that we get all that often. We have the toy grab versions. But I'm a completionist, and I was like, I gotta have the 25 because I think I, as far as I know, I have a complete 25 centimeter lineup, with the exception of a few. I don't have the color versions of Anguirus and Godzilla 55 set. I don't have the 89 with the binds going through his hands. And that might be it. That might be the only 25 figures I don't have, I think. Well, soon I'm not going to have the flying Ghidorah that you're going to have. So it's all good.
But your favorite, I guess, would just freestyle. Would it be King Ghidorah? Would it be Biollante? Would it be?
Biollante are awesome. 25 centimeter crawling Varan. The 25 centimeter, not the Wonderfest one, the 73 with the closed mouth. Yeah. Because I love that look on his face as he's standing there on Monster Island before Jaguar comes over and, hey, come on, let's go. We got some work to do. Because he's got that puppy dog look on his face. That's a beautiful figure. Yeah, this is just too many to go through. I have to write these ideas down and do like a video for them. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm brain farting on you.
Okay, I'll just say King Ghidorah. I mean, because you can't go wrong with that, right? So
no, I mean it's a beautiful figure. What I'll do after we're done here, I will stare at my shelves for a bit, and I'll post it up in the X Plus group for which one really. Right. I know I'm not thinking of something.
Right. Really. But we'll be finishing up in like maybe 5 minutes, folks. Thank y'all so much for asking questions and being a part of this, and it really was amazing. And we're definitely going to be doing this again. I'm definitely going to have Richard on the show again. Once again, awesome cat. So let's do some rapid fire X Plus versus, which will be made into a full show at some point. So here we go. Oh, hold on a second.
I'll wait here.
All right. Which one do you prefer? Gigan 30 centimeter or Gigan 25? Which one? Oh, by the way, I never said it was going to be easy.
No. I like the 25 because of this proper scaling. The 30 kind of is on the shorter side, but I have the Rick Light Up version, night version of that Gigan, which looks like a badass. Oh, darn. I'm going to go with the 30 centimeter version.
Okay, good. I'm probably going to go with 25 because I think it's my drawback with the 30 is he's not a full 30. Like we put up against the 68 Godzilla, he does fall a little bit short. And we all know Gigan was tall, not too much taller, but he was the taller of the two. So that's my only drawback. But the 25, he's just perfect to me. So that's why I'm going with him. Round number 2.
Ding, ding.
The battle of the 2018 pieces this year. Yes, both of these pieces came out in this year. Awesome pieces. One came out earlier, one came out recently. I put a post on this on the group a while ago, but I figure I'd ask you now. Which one of the two do you prefer? Favorite Sculptors Line 62 or the Sakai 54?
62.
Really?
Yeah.
You said that without hesitation. Why is that?
Well, again, the thing about the UG Sakai line is they're just on the shorter side. While I do like the UG Sakai 54 over the 25 here because it's a little bit, it's bigger. It does, again, I'll have to compare. I mean, the detail on this looks crisp, but the detail on the UG Sakai 54 is very, very crisp. And that 62, I've seen that 62 originally in person at David's out in Seattle in 2014. I was like, wow, that is a great looking 62. So to get that one, and it's a big, big figure. It does take up a lot of real estate, even for being a reissue of a model kit from resin to vinyl. So it looks nice and dirty. Detail looks good. The paint job on that's good. The face is good. So that 62 takes it by a smidgen, not by much.
All right. Third round. Titanosaurus, 25 centimeter or the 30?
30. All
right. So round number second. Then we go to the main event, I guess. Mechagodzilla 1975, the 30 centimeter or the Mechagodzilla 1974, 30 centimeter?
75.
75. And last and certainly but not least, GMK, which one you prefer? The Favorite Sculptors Line 25 centimeter or the 30 centimeter Sakai?
Favorite Sculptors Line.
Okay. You find it's a more because it's bigger or because it's just it's a more accurate GMK?
It's here's the thing, like with these figures, Yuji Sakai would always go for like a dynamic pose. And while the Yuji Sakai GMK is dynamic, there's just something a little bit more dynamic about that Favorite Sculptors Line coming from MM28. He's roaring, like arched back. He just looks he looks just as pissed off as the Yuji Sakai one, but the paint job's a little different. Face looks different. it's just something about that figure that it takes the cake a little bit more from the to the Yuji Sakai one.
All right.
Hard to put it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they both capture different vibes.
Right. Now,
the way the vibes are fresh.
Right. Now, those for me, Titanosaurus, I'm gonna go with the 30. Mechagodzilla, I'm with you. I went with 75. For GMK, I'm probably gonna go with the Sakai. I just like it. Looks a little bit better than the favorite sculptors line, even though the favorite sculptor line is the most scale size-wise accurate version in comparison to the other three monsters. But as far as like my favorite out of the two, I'm gonna go with the Sakai. But that's the thing; it's all subjective. There's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinions, folks. We have just demonstrated that for the past 2 hours, so we can do that. Then we know y'all can do the exact same thing. So once again, that is it. A conversation between X Plus collectors, myself, and the awesome Fresh Vinyl, Mr. Fresh Vinyl himself, Richard Eso. Before we go, do you have any questions? First of all, not questions. First of all, thank you so much for being a part of this. It really is awesome. Once again, I contacted you on short notice. You agreed, and you came on, and this has really have been an amazing live stream, an amazing endeavor. And I look forward to having more endeavors like this with you in the future. Before we go, do you have any advice or any words of encouragement for future collectors or just the collectors in general, as far as like X Plus and what they have in store for us in the future?
As far as advice goes, I know I get like some of this. Oh, I'm a know-it-all every now and then. That's okay. I'm not afraid to say the unpopular opinions. How earlier we were talking about reissues on how they do hurt our hobby. How about there's also the benefits? So I'm not afraid to look at things from both sides of the street. But as far as the advice goes, remember, we all have opinions. I have my opinions. The longer you collect something, the more knowledge you learn about it, and you're going to formulate your own opinions on how a certain thing that you're passionate about is going. But remember, we all have opinions. We're all having fun with it. Buy what you like. Buy what you could afford. And just have fun with it. Be respectful to each other. Learn something as we go. And so as far as advice goes, just have fun. Stay fresh. As far as the future of X Plus goes, what's coming down the pipeline, honestly, I don't know. I haven't talked to G in some months, so I don't have any secrets up my sleeve, unfortunately. Which I'm glad I don't know, honestly. There's been times where we would, obviously when we went to Japan, we knew, there's a GMK coming. We saw the gigantic 62 in the clay process. So it's always fun to, see what's coming down the pipeline. But just save your pennies, because they're not really letting up when they're dropping 3 figures at us a month. And we know, honestly, it's probably not going to be long before that gigantic 89 is up for pre-order. That was teased, back in the summer, right? Early summer?
Yeah, it was teased at Summer Wonder Fest. If I had to guess, because I would think they're going to try and drop both of those, the 89 and the 74 Mechagodzilla next year. 89 is more timely because next year does mark the 30th anniversary of Godzilla's Biollante, so it would be more appropriate to have that released next year. If we're up to me, if I were G, I will probably have the gigantic 89 come like early quarter, like the 64 did this year, and then Mechagodzilla, like the roaring Shin Godzilla, has been released at this time frame next year.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
What was the last gigantic? We had the 64, right?
The last gigantic, not counting the roaring Shin, was the 64. Yes.
Yeah. So it's literally been since March then that we've had a legitimate new gigantic release, not including the double dipping.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, I think we'll probably see that soon, if anything, for the first, during the January, February timeframe, if I had to guess. But also, again, that plays into what they're doing with Diamond, because there's those reissues are coming out. Some of the gigantics still. I'm not even sure on when those are coming out, because I haven't really paid attention to the Diamond stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I don't know. The release stuff is just driving me crazy. Again, like we said throughout this, I'm starting to skip stuff here and there because again, I'm at the point when is enough enough. But yeah. No, I don't have any questions. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for motivating me because I've been slacking a little bit myself as far as I mean, I'm trying to stay on top of the reviews. I haven't had anything until, you know, what, Jagger was my last, and then I got these two to do. But this has been fun. I needed this. So you keep doing what you're doing. We're going to get you on Fresh Vinyl Live, too. I know I've said it in the past, you know, we need to do a collab. So I'm glad that you initiated this. I said it a while ago. I was like, we should do something, you know. I think it was before G-Fest. I know I mentioned it to you. So I'm glad we did this. This is fun. And like everybody else that's been watching, yeah, we need to do this more often and just have fun with it. I'm done rambling.
And that's the whole point. It's not rambling. You know, you have that was very nice to consider what you just said. The fact that I've even been considered to be on Fresh Vinyl is an honor. And I know you've been busy. I know you've been preoccupied with a lot of stuff. And you know, it's not like, you know, I'm sitting here wondering when I can be on. I know that you're busy with your stuff. I'm busy with my stuff, and we'll come together when we come together. Like I said, this makes me even more appreciative of the fact that when I contacted you on such short notice, you said, "Hey, I'm there. Let's just work out some things," and you made it happen for me. And that really does mean a lot. And it goes to show you that, folks, we're here because we want to have fun. We're not here because we feel like we have to do this or we feel like we're obligated to do this. We do this at our leisure because both of us, you know, we have individual lives, we have wives, we have families, we have jobs. Godzilla, even though we love this stuff, it's not our life. But even though that's what we're synonymous with, Godzilla is not our life, but it's our hobby. It's our fun. Don't misconstrue that, people. It's about having fun. It's about having a good time. It's not about you having more than the next guy or worrying about he having less than you or worrying about if the figure that you see in a picture is going to be, you know, what you're going to get in your hand. It's about just enjoying the moment, enjoying the time. And honestly, in my opinion, and I said this before, the hobby is going to get hotter, especially going into next year with King of the Monsters coming out. And then Godzilla vs. Kong after that. Not to mention what Toho may be bringing after the legendary Godzilla films are done. So the fandom, the collectible community, the hobby is going to get hotter and hotter and hotter as we go into the next couple of years. And my advice, I'm sure Rich will agree with this, be smarter. You know, think smarter, be a smarter collector. If you're going to collect these things, whether it's S Plus, SH Monster Arts, Marmots, bull marks, model kits, or whatever, these things are not, you know, on the cheap end. There are investments. Every single one of these figures are investment, and it's investment that I chose to go into, and I've not regretted any of them. So just realize that, you know, 'cause I know a lot of folks, at least the casual fans, see myself, Rich, you know, up here talking about this stuff and say, hey, I can do that. Then once they get into it, not realizing there are ramifications and, you know, of doing this, there are steps you have to take. You know, take all that into consideration before you come into this. And I guarantee you will have a good time. And once again, realize, don't lose focus over the fact that this is just about having fun and building a hobby and fellowship with other people. And that's why we're here. And that's why we continue going to stay. That's why we will continue to be here. So please check out Richard Eso on his channel, Fresh Vinyl. You know him, Fresh Vinyl Reviews. He also has a website called Fresh Vinyl HQ. You know what I mean? He also does Fresh Vinyl live streams from time to time. He'll have a Fresh Vinyl show at G-Fest, I'm sure, next year. Just an awesome cat. So please go to his website. Please go to his channel. You would not be disappointed. And thank you so much, Rich, for being a part of this. Once again, we will be doing this again. The next live stream, like I said, which team are you on, people? So go ahead and just realize which team you're going to be on once you be watching us. Which team are you on? The Godzilla 1962 or
64, bitches?
There you go. There you go. Which side are you on? Pick a side, because we're definitely going to pick one. All right, so that's pretty much it. Once again, the next video review I'm going to be doing is going to be the Sakai Shin. As a matter of fact, I have a video in line with my wife. you know, because she's an X Plus collector. So I'm gonna do an interview with her or a video with her real soon. I got Sakai 54. You know, Rich has a Sakai 54. Excuse me, not 54. The Sakai Shin. Excuse me. Got a Sakai Shin coming. Rich got the Sakai Shin coming. He got the 54 Rip with Sarazawa 25 centimeters. So lots of stuff are coming within our respective channels. You would not be disappointed. And once again, thank y'all for watching. Thank you, Rich, for being a part of this. And as I always say, thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. And I will see y'all again on the next Figure Move review. Oh, Rich, do that thing that you do before you close out.
And remember, people, buy vinyl, fresh vinyl. Bam!
And that's what's up. Good night, folks.
Badass.